Before we get to the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it to that uncle who's a communist. And if he isn't, he will be.
Don't forget to follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/revolutionaryrhetoric. And Revolutionary Rhetoric is an affiliate of the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network.
All right, let's get to the video.
Yeah, so Chiquita Banana forced to pay almost $40 million in like what is essentially like wrongful death money, right? For the like, this goes back hundreds of years. I was doing a little bit of research on this to kind of freshen up. Like, we all know that, like, if you've ever heard the term banana republic, right? I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
we're all familiar that like these banana companies, Chiquita Banana and like their predecessor, what they used to be, funded like paramilitary right-wing death squads to go around and like put down strikes and just murder people blatantly.
They were called what? United Fruit Company?
They were called United Fruit Company. So like, I mean,
well, dude, you've seen this in the history books when you went to school
Oh, yeah.
and you read a history. This is the
this
company.
is the thing. This is that
They
company.
literally just changed their name.
Yeah,
It's
they're
the
Chiquita
same company.
Banana now, and the Chiquita Banana. This isn't. They're not being liable for the deaths that under United Fruit Company. They're being liable for the deaths like from 10 years ago. Like, they are still funding the Colombian Civil War up that ended in 2016. So this lawsuit was from 2007. Excuse me, that was just settled, and Chiquita Banana lost. But it's for like a real brief history. In the I want to say it was the late 20s, or maybe it was the late 30s. It was either 28 or 38. I can't remember exactly when. A bunch of banana workers went on strike in Central America and South America, and Chiquita Banana, or then the United Fruit Company, with the help of the government, I think it was
CIA.
the Colombian government, it like just basically opened fire, and they killed over 1,000 people of these striking banana workers. And there's the U.S. State Department, or maybe it was, the U.S. Department of State issued like memos saying like, good job, we got them. Now they get back to work and stuff. So like, yeah, it was like the United Fruit Company aggressively and brutally put down any type of like, these guys were working 7 hours a day, many days, or many hours a day for little to no pay.
7 days a week, you mean?
7
hours a day seems ideal.
Oh yeah, no, 7 days a week. Sorry, 7 days a week for like 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
And they wanted, what their striking conditions were at that strike were 6-day weeks. 6-day weeks with 8-hour days. That's what they wanted. They wanted to work 6 days a week. That was like their concession. That was their compromise. And they were these strikes are brutally put down. And this has been a consistent theme with these companies and companies all over the world too. Like, this is the first company in history to ever be held liable for human rights abuses, which is kind of bizarre because like Nestle was just caught with like slave labor, you hiring underage kids. Tyson was just caught hiring underage kids, but none of them were held civilly liable for any kind of damages or money they had to pay. Chiquita was, as of, I think it was a couple days ago, they had to pay $38.3 million, I want to say, to the family of a bunch of Colombians that they had killed. And
this is just in Colombia, so this is not even.
Yeah, this is Colombia. It was real bad in Guatemala.
Guatemala, they literally worked with the CIA to overthrow the fucking government and install a dictator that would then allow them to buy.
That's the
operate
thing
better.
is they've always been real cozy with these governments because the government they throw the government cash to keep laws friendly to their companies of like no limits on hours, no limits on days.
A fruit company fucking overthrew a government to have to basically have.
Well, it was way worse than that. It was way more nefarious than that. Like, this fruit company is responsible for like putting all of the railroad tracks in Central and South America. So all of northern South America, like Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, all of that. It made them their transport costs.
Yeah.
But like, if you wanted to like use their transports, like it was just like owned by United Fruit Company. So like the deals they had set up with these countries, like they had complete control. Like there was a stranglehold, basically. This one company, United Fruit Company, basically like owned the northern half of South America and Central America, and like if you wanted anything in those countries, you had to go through this American. It was actually I think it was a Guatemalan American partnership, but in the end, it ended up just being an American company, as I understand it. So go read that story about Chiquita Banana's history. It's wild, and it's funny if you Google Chiquita Banana like death squads and stuff. All of the stuff is from like 10 to 15 years ago because that's when it was like this current crop of murders were perpetrated. So it's actually not a lot of like mainstream outlets are reporting on this. I had to dig to find more details about it.
I found this on TikTok, and that's why they want to ban TikTok.
Yeah. I saw it on Instagram first too, and then I had to go dig around. And I found a Democracy Now! Video about it, which, as far as I know, Democracy Now! Is kind of like
Social Democrat.
Yeah, they're kind of libs, but there was a piece from them about it, and then there was, I think,
decent work,
an
though,
AP article
compared to
about
like CNN and all of them.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give them that.
Anyway, that's a Chiquita banana story. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also sad at the same time.
Very sad. I mean, it's a lot of people have died, but I mean, there is hope. This sets a precedent that companies can now be held liable for human rights abuses. So
finally.
Yeah. I mean, it took the lawsuit was filed in 2007. It's now 2024.
Yeah. Now we just have to get states reliable for human rights
17 years later, it took to get justice.
Yeah.
There was a comment from, I think it was the widow of one of the guys that was killed. It was in Spanish, and I forget exactly what she said, but it was just about like so go out there, look it up, educate yourselves. There you go. That'd be an interesting one to do a deeper dive on, like a longer video essay is just a Banana Republic history of like the United Fruit Company.